This platform that we're going to go through first, it's the online pulmonary rehabilitation program. So it's just online at iMasterHealth.com, and we can send out an email with the link to this website. This is what the homepage looks like, so you know you're on the right spot. You are welcome to go through it and see what it's all about before you create an account. But as it shows here, we're going to go through some exercise, breathing, some education. We target a few different lung conditions here. So the most common one we do get is COPD, but we also have the program tailored to other conditions like asthma, pulmonary fibrosis, interstitial lung disease, cystic fibrosis, and bronchiectasis. And then there's a little video here you can watch on your own time. And here are some benefits, of course, of pulmonary rehabilitation. And we have a good group of healthcare practitioners who have contributed to this program. And so what you want to do, so that's just the homepage, you can go ahead and read it. But when you get here, what you can do is just go up to this right-hand corner and join for free, or there's this join for free button here. So you just press the join for free, and then it's going to take you through our sign-up process. So you just enter in your first and last name. So I'm just going to make an account for everybody to see it. You're going to put an email address. I'm just going to put one so we can see the email notifications that you will receive. It's kind of like reminders every week on new content you're going to get to help you along your journey. So you do first and last name, email, create a password, just repeat that password, and let us know how you heard about us. So we can just say it was a healthcare professional, indicate who. It was the Nova Scotia and PEI Lung Association. And we're going to press register. And then after this, we're going to go through a few questions. And it's just going to ask you about your health condition, which respiratory condition you have, other additional health conditions we should be aware of. And the goal is to make sure that we're creating a program that's tailored for you and to make sure that you are safe doing independent exercise training. So I'm just going to sign up as if I was one of our typical users. So we see either males or females. Average age, we can see anywhere between as young as 40 years old up to 90, 95 years old. So I want to say our average age is around 67. And we press the next button, and this is where you enter in your respiratory condition. Typically do see a lot of COPD, but then again, we do have the program tailored to these other conditions. If you know the severity of your lung condition, you can enter that in as well. And then our first question is, do you have a diagnosis of respiratory failure? So if your doctor has told you this, just answer yes. And then if you have this conversation about doing unsupervised exercise training with your healthcare professional, if not, we do have a program for you. We just want to make sure that before you do your exercise training, you're talking to your doctor, your healthcare professional. Make sure that it's safe for you. They know your condition best. So just make sure you have that conversation. But if you already did, you can press yes. The next question is, do you have a diagnosis of pulmonary arterial hypertension? If so, same thing, just make sure you have that conversation with your healthcare professional about doing the unsupervised exercise training, because that is the main component of our pulmonary rehab program. And then have you been cleared to do only supervised exercise training? So if you're only supposed to be doing supervised, press yes, same thing, have the conversation about the unsupervised exercise and physical activity with your healthcare professional. Do you have low oxygen levels? If yes, are you on oxygen therapy during the day or during exercise? If yes, have you discussed adjusting those oxygen levels during exercise? Because that is important to make sure you do have that conversation with your respiratory therapist or with your physician. If you have said yes, that's great. If not, we just give a few suggestions. You should typically be increasing that flow rate from 1 to 2 liters per minute, but always have that conversation with your doctor. The next question we go through is blood pressure. So if you have a high blood pressure, are you taking medications that reduces that blood pressure? If not, we're just, again, giving the suggestions that physical activity is most likely beneficial, but just make sure you talk to your healthcare team. Next question is a diagnosis of heart disease, blood vessel disease, irregular heart rhythm, or if you've had a stroke that makes exercise dangerous. If yes, have you been cleared to do that exercise training? If not, then typically we recommend the cardiac rehab program if you have one in your area. But again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. Just keep having that conversation with your physician. And then if you experience any of these symptoms at rest or during activity, if you do, there might be some reasons for that. Increasing that intensity of your exercise is okay, again, once you've spoke to your healthcare team. And then our last question is about metabolic disease or diabetes or kidney disease. And just make sure you monitor those glucose levels if you do have that condition, which I'm sure you are aware of. And then we just want to make sure that you understand those questions. Are you comfortable exercising and becoming more physically active on your own, or are you going to consult your healthcare professional? I'm going to say I'm comfortable because I have had that conversation with my team. And then just make sure that you understand everything you've provided is to the best of your knowledge, and you can go ahead and just sign that form. And now the very last part of this sign up process, we're going to ask about your current physical activity levels. So aerobic exercise, it is our cardio training. So it's walking, riding a bike, hiking, dancing, anything that's going to get that heart rate moving. Do you do that regularly? So at least 3 times a week for the last 3 months? We can just say no for now. And then the next question is in regards to resistance training or strength training. So that's when you have those free weights in your hand or resistance bands, doing that at least 2 times a week for the last 3 months. So I'm just going to say no for those 2 questions. And then we can submit this questionnaire. And that brings us to which program we would like to choose. So we have this program on the left, which is our breathing, our learning, and our movement. So this just doesn't have our exercise training. There's a few questions that we saw in that previous page that said, should you be doing exercise training? Are you safe to do that? If not, then you're going to press this button, the join here. If you are comfortable doing that exercise training, we're going to head over to this program, and I'm going to press join for this one so everyone can see what's included. And if you find that you do want to try exercise training, all you have to do is just go through the triage or the screening questionnaires again, and then you'll be able to get the exercise training program. And this is what your platform is going to look like. So this is our homepage. You can navigate using the sidebar on the left-hand side. And this is on a laptop right now. We do have the versions available if you wanted to do it on your iPad or access it on a phone. The only difference is that you're going to see this menu down at the bottom. So still easy to navigate. With our homepage, this is kind of our weekly planner. So first thing you can do is you can just go ahead and watch the program demonstration, but we're doing that right now, so no need to do that. And then we'll talk about the lung workshop in a little bit, but let's just go through this weekly planner. So we have our exercise training, breathing techniques, and education. These sessions are going to be updated weekly, so it keeps you moving along that exercise and rehabilitation journey, making sure that there's something always available for you to either learn or try out. So first we're going to do the exercise training. So you can either click on this button here, or we can go over to the exercise tab. And our exercise training is set up so we have different categories and different levels for the exercise. So we have beginner all the way up to advanced and 3 levels within each. Each of these sessions are very carefully thought out in the amount of time, intensity, type of exercises that you'll be doing. So it's really important to try and follow along on each page, going from level 1, exercise session 1, to session 2, session 3, but we keep them open because if there's a session that you enjoy and you want to go back to, you have that ability to do so. First thing I want us to take note of is our pre-exercise health check. So you can just go and click on this. Before you do an exercise session, just take a look over this. It's a self-assessment, seeing if you have anything that might be a concern of doing exercise training in that moment. So just do that self-assessment. And I'm going to introduce our dyspnea or breathlessness scale. Some of you may have heard of this before, but this is a scale to help us gauge your exercise intensity. So we're going to go off of how short of breath are you feeling. The reason we do that is exercise intensity is going to be different for everyone. So this is a way that you can gauge on your own end. So we have this scale that goes from 0 to 10. 0 is you're not breathless at all. 10 is that is the maximal amount of breathless. When we're exercising, we want to be around that 4 to 5 or 3 to 4. And the trainer in the exercise videos will be speaking about this. So you don't have to remember this completely, but we always talk about where you should have that intensity at. If you need to take more breaks to bring that intensity down, or maybe you need to pick up the pace to bring the intensity up. So those are two things just always to take note of before you join a session. We're going to do the first session. I'll show you what this is like. So this is our lovely trainer, Jill, and she is an exercise physiologist, a rehabilitation specialist, and she is always fun to watch. So all you have to do is press play and then you can follow along with Jill. The only thing you really need is a stable chair, some good shoes, a water bottle next to you, and we typically like to have resistance bands or light weights. Now, if you don't have those, that is okay. We always give suggestions on what you can do around the house. So if you don't have light weights, you can use soup cans or water bottles. Sometimes if you don't have a resistance band, we can use a towel or we can change that exercise up. So you can press play, you go through a warm-up, cardio, strength training, a cool down, some stretching, some stability, breath work, and also some yoga exercises as well. So they're all different videos and they're all ranging from around half an hour to an hour long, depending on the level and category you're in. When you are finished doing that session, I'm not going to play it, just if you guys want to play it on your own end, that would be great. But we just have a few more things to go through. So in respect to the time, we're just going to go through the next section. So this is, you're going to press complete after you finish the workout. And then we just want to know how you felt during that exercise session. Was it just right? Was it too easy or was it too hard? Now, what we do, and the reason why we ask you to fill this out, is that we record your responses and we change your exercise level and category depending on these responses. So if your sessions are too easy, we're going to ask if you want to move up a level to make it a little bit harder. If they're too hard, we're going to ask if you want to move down a level. So that's where that personalized and tailored aspect comes from. So please try your best to answer these post-exercise questions. But for now, I'm going to say it's just right and finish the quiz and press submit. And then it's just going to bring me back to the exercise page. Okay. And then we can go to the home page and you'll see that we have checked off that first exercise session. So again, this helps you stay on track. And then we can head over to session 2 when it's the next day when we feel like exercising. The next component we're going to go through is the breathing techniques. So you can just go over to the breathe section on the left-hand side. And here we have a great variety of different breathing techniques that they're around 3 to 5 minutes long. You can look at the breathing exercise precautions. So before you do any of these exercises, just make sure that you're feeling okay. And then all you need to do is press on the video and it will pop up and you can press play. This is myself when we're going through some belly breathing while sitting down in a chair. A lot of feedback that we get is that individuals really enjoy coming back to a certain video, so it reminds them of the technique. And then eventually it might be in your mind and you'll be able to do it on your own. That is the goal here. But there's a great variety of different techniques. Some people find ones that work really well for them, so you can always just explore new ones every day, or if you have the regular ones that you want to go back to. And then we're going to move on to our Learn page, or the education sessions. So another great component of pulmonary rehabilitation is the education and the self-management tools. So these education sessions have been put together by a group of practitioners. We have physicians, a lot of respiratory therapists, dietitians, exercise physiologists going through different topics on different conditions. So we have one topic for each condition: COPD, asthma, cystic fibrosis, the breathing techniques for these conditions, sleep positions, nutrition. Some people might be dealing with obstructive sleep apnea and inhaler techniques. So there's a really great variety of different episodes. So what you can do is we can just click on one of these episodes, and they're in the forms of podcast episodes right now. And we're working on also incorporating some presentations and video styles. But this first episode, just what is COPD? This is by one of our practitioners, Dr. Jamel Jelena, and she goes through things from COPD, what is COPD, the basic strategies to help lessen any symptoms, and discusses the benefits of exercise. So we did this as a podcast episode to start, just to make it easily accessible, whether you are at home or if you're on the road or if you're out and about and you just want to put in your headphones and listen. You can just press play. And this session is about 14 minutes long, but it is set up so they're broken down into different topics. So you can listen to one topic and then come back and listen to another topic later. So that is our education session. And then finally, we have our movement session. So these are shorter exercise sessions. We have yoga, flexibility, stability training, cardio training, and strength training. So you can use this top bar to navigate, and then you can also just press on any of the videos to follow along. So we can just look at this one yoga video. Welcome. And then just press play. So it's a 5-minute seated yoga session. And we're always adding new content to these resources every single week. And then this is our settings session or settings section. So this is just where your information is that you previously put in right when you signed up. So if anything changes, you are welcome to just re-enter that information, your login details, and that's the exercise level that you're at, and our terms and conditions. And of course, you can always just log out here and then log back in. So that is the program currently. And then I just want to show everybody what it looks like in an email. So we're going to just go through the email notifications here. So the first email that you get will just be letting you know about the new resources that you have available. And then we'll go through the lung workshop as well. So these are just weekly emails to make sure that you're keeping up with your program and that you know what is available. Okay. Does anybody have any questions right now before we go through the lung workshop? So this program is completely self-guided. If you need support, you're able to contact us and we will help you get started, or if you have any questions, we can help with that as well. I'll just pause, and if anybody has any questions, they can either unmute or just raise your hand. Looks like we're good for now. If any questions pop up, then just go ahead and shout them out. But next, we're going to go through our lung workshop. So this, I'm going to just press on this button here. So this is our supervised exercise classes. So we currently run them Mondays and Wednesdays. And I'm on the West Coast, so I believe the time change works out to 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. for your time. And it's an 8-week session, and they're group exercise sessions. So we start off with a complimentary consult, so you can just go ahead and book a time that works for you, and you'll just meet with me. We will go through your lung condition, what your goals are. If you are eligible for the rehab program, we do a functional movement test as well as a quality of life assessment. And the goal here is to make sure we can personalize your program as much as possible. These are the lung conditions we target. So similar to the last program that I was just showing, the only thing that we add is post-COVID. So you do the initial assessment. Our exercise classes are 2 times a week, again, Mondays and Wednesdays. They're a 60-minute session and it's just over Zoom. So just like this, it's really easy to get to, and you have the support of other individuals in the group. And yeah, here are some program benefits, but you're welcome to just go to iMasterHealth.com, and on the top menu, there's just lung workshop, so you can press on there and you can go ahead and book a consult if that's of interest. And that is everything I believe that I wanted to go through.